On August 31st, 2013, a 64-year-old woman named Diana Nyad waded into the ocean in Havana, Cuba, and began swimming north. Her destination, Key West, Florida, 110 miles of open ocean infested with box jellyfish, Portuguese man-o'-wars, and sharks. No shark cage, no rest stops, just a woman, the sea, and a dream she'd been chasing for 35 years. Diana had attempted this swim 4 times before. Each time she'd failed, stung into paralysis by jellyfish, battered by storms, pulled from the water delirious and defeated. She was told she was too old, that the swim was impossible, that the ocean would kill her. But on September 2nd, after 53 hours of continuous swimming, Diana Nyad stumbled onto the beach in Key West, collapsing into the arms of her support team. She'd done it. At 64, she became the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida without a shark cage. Her first words, gasping into a microphone, became legendary. Never, ever give up. This is the story of obsession, endurance, and a woman who refused to let age, failure, or the ocean itself stop her from achieving the impossible. Diana's obsession began in 1978, when she first attempted the Cuba to Florida crossing at age 28. She was already a world record marathon swimmer, famous for swimming around Manhattan and across Lake Ontario. But the Florida Straits defeated her. After 42 hours, jellyfish stings and brutal currents forced her out. She vowed to return, but life intervened. Career, relationships, aging, decades passed. Then, at 60, Diana decided to try again. Friends thought she was crazy. Doctors warned that her body couldn't handle it. But Diana was haunted by the unfinished swim. "It's not about the destination," she said. "It's about refusing to accept that some dreams have expiration dates." In 2011, she attempted again. Jellyfish swarmed her, their tentacles wrapping around her body, injecting venom. She was pulled from the water, convulsing, her body shutting down. Attempt 2, 2011, an asthma attack forced her out. Attempt 3, 2012, jellyfish again, this time so severe she couldn't continue. Attempt 4, 2012, hypothermia and storms ended it. 4 failures. Most people would have quit. Diana trained harder. For the 5th attempt, Diana assembled a team of 35 people, navigators, doctors, shark divers, kayakers, and a jellyfish expert who designed a special suit and mask to protect her. She trained 6 hours a day, swimming in the ocean, building endurance, numbing herself to cold and pain. She studied currents, weather patterns, jellyfish migration. She became obsessed with every variable. On August 31st, 2013, conditions aligned. The forecast showed a rare weather window. Calm seas, favorable currents. It was now or never. Diana entered the water at 8:59 a.m., surrounded by her team in boats. She began the rhythmic stroke she'd repeat 50,000 times over the next 2 days. No wetsuit. Wetsuits provide buoyancy, which disqualifies the swim. Just a silicone mask, a bodysuit to protect against jellyfish, and willpower. The first night was calm, but the second night, the ocean turned. Swells rose to 8 feet. Diana vomited from seasickness but kept swimming. Her lips swelled grotesquely from saltwater exposure. Her tongue thickened, making it hard to drink the liquid nutrition her team fed her every 90 minutes. But she didn't stop. Hallucinations began on the second day. Sleep deprivation and sensory monotony broke her mind. She saw the Taj Mahal rising from the waves. She heard music that wasn't there. She argued with people who didn't exist. Her team watched nervously, ready to pull her if she became incoherent. But Diana's strokes remained steady, mechanical, relentless. Her navigator, John Bartlett, guided her through the treacherous currents, adjusting course to avoid being swept into the Gulf Stream, which would have ended the swim. Sharks circled. Her team used electronic shark shields to keep them at bay. Jellyfish appeared, and despite the protective suit, a few stings penetrated. Diana's face swelled, but she pushed through the pain. At hour 50, she was still 15 miles from Key West. Her body was breaking down, shoulders screaming, core muscles cramping, skin raw. Her team asked if she wanted to stop. She shook her head and kept swimming. 3 hours later, she saw lights. Key West, the finish line. She found a reserve of energy she didn't know existed and swam faster, crying into her mask, knowing she was about to complete the dream of a lifetime. When Diana's feet touched sand, thousands of people were waiting on the beach. They'd been tracking her progress online, watching the live feed, rooting for a 64-year-old woman who refused to quit. She stood, swaying, barely able to walk, and was mobbed by supporters. In her speech, Voice hoarse, she delivered 3 messages. 1. Never ever give up. 2. You're never too old to chase your dreams. And 3. It looks like a solitary sport, but it's a team. Her achievement made global headlines. She appeared on talk shows, gave TED Talks, wrote a book. But she also faced skepticism. Some marathon swimming purists questioned details of her swim navigation choices, the protective suit, whether she'd touched the boat. Investigations were launched. Ultimately, no definitive evidence of rule breaking was found. But controversy lingered. Diana didn't care. "I know what I did," she said. "I swam 110 miles, and I finished." Whether the swim met every purist standard became secondary to the larger truth. She'd endured 53 hours in the ocean and survived. Diana Nyad's story transcends swimming. It's about the human refusal to accept limitations imposed by age, failure, or fear. She failed 4 times and came back for a 5th. Most people don't come back after 1 failure. She was 64 in a sport dominated by people half her age. She proved that the body, if trained and willed, can achieve far more than we believe. But her story also reveals the cost of obsession. Diana sacrificed relationships, health, and years of her life chasing one goal. Was it worth it? She says yes. "That swim is who I am," she told an interviewer. "It defines me." Critics argue she became so obsessed she lost perspective, that the swim became less about achievement and more about ego, but perhaps that's what it takes to do the impossible. A single-minded, irrational commitment that borders on madness. Because rational people don't swim 110 miles through jellyfish-infested waters at 64. Rational people give up. Diana Nyad didn't, and that's why we remember her name.